Hey, good day to all of you. My name is Blair and welcome to another OS operating system. Today, we're gonna talk about and learn how to install and try to see this Blade OS Linux. And of course, I am now in my ISO file, which is right here. As you can see, it is in my VirtualBox. And of course, I'm ready to capture this and explore this operating system. So we're gonna take a look into this as we go live boot and enter this boot session of the Blade OS Linux. Alright, so we're gonna have the setup first. Try to make it as the system goes into our display, which is supposed to be 1080. Alright, there you have it. It's 1080. Keep the changes. Okay, so let's close this one. Now we have this as the welcome app. So this is in English, but of course you could look for something else aside from English. We could find Filipino if you wanted to and enter. If you are Filipino, of course, just go for Filipino English. I am a Filipino, yes I am. US English. Privacy settings, yes, I want to locate my location. I don't have any problems with that. This is just a virtual machine. And of course, we have to connect with other accounts. Who says there is no Microsoft in Linux? Microsoft is actually one of the major sponsor of Linux nowadays. You have the web browser of Microsoft, which is Edge. You also have Microsoft Office 360, and it is not yet officially announced, but maybe in the next few years, maybe in the next 10 years from now, maybe Linux will be a major operating system. So let's skip this one first and start browsing and take a look into this Blade OS. So let's go to the website first by going to the Firefox web browser. Any web browser will do. So let's look for Blade OS. Okay, this is the website. So it is pre-configured desktop for easy to use, so you have no problem with installation. Bunch of useful utilities and app pre-installed already based on the rock solid stability of Debian. And software allows you to discover, install, update your apps with ease and support the Debian package and Flatpak. Let's see if we have some information right here. So the system requirement is AMD processor or Intel 64 processor, at least 24 gigabytes of storage space, and at least 2 gig of RAM or the random access memory. Blade OS is the first release from the stable Debian 12 Bookworm codename. That is codename. It will get you updates until 2028. So this is rock solid. You don't have any problems with this one. And this release includes Gnome 43 desktop with modification. Make sure that you are getting things done quicker. And the use of Flatpaks are as it is main source of getting apps. However, you can also use some deb file, which is Debian right here, shortcut of deb. You also have the app image and the snaps if you needed to. You can also check out some of the useful version right here. This is the Blissful version 24. Do check it out. So they are using the Gnome desktop environment, and of course it has a good visual type of layout right here. As you can see, the desktop UI is like a Chrome. Yes, Chrome is actually a Linux operating system. So as you can see, this is the dock right here in the bottom center. If you are wondering why is it in the center, this is because in Linux you could modify it and actually copied by Windows, because Windows is now a hybrid of Linux. They are migrating to Linux in the next few years. So let me close this software update because we are now in our desktop user interface. So this is the desktop dock right here. The show apps is actually the start menu. As you can see, it is 3x3 dots. That is why the Windows started with only 4 dots. So they have only 4 dots in their Windows, because actually the start menu started as 3 dots. This is way back in Unix operating system. So this is the dock. Let's go out again from the start apps or the show apps or the launchpad or the start menu button. So in the upper left we have the activities. Either you can switch from one to another, left or right. And of course they have the time in the center, upper center. And on the right upper center is the notification area. So you have the sound, the power button, the settings, the screenshot, and all those stuff. And of course this is the desktop wallpaper. That's the default, and we have to change the wallpaper. Let's try to check if there are some. Okay, there are some. So you could like use that one. Let me move that one. And this is the blue. Of course, we could turn it light. This one also dark mode. Another. We could like shift it from one to another. And of course, dark mode. Okay. Nice wallpaper. You can choose from dark mode and to the default light mode. I prefer the dark mode. It is not hurting my eyes or giving me some eye strain. Okay, let's just use the dark mode. It is pleasant to the eyes. So that is their wallpaper. And of course, you can also change the display settings in your preferred ratio or the resolution of your display. So let's go to the application. So it has only a default of few application right here. You have contact, solitaire, cheese for your webcam, your video or GNU videos, calculator, settings right here, system. Let's check out the settings of our resources. And of course you have the terminal. Let's check out the terminal if they have the NeoFetch. Yes, they have the NeoFetch. Blade OS 24.1. It is running in kernel 1.0-22. And of course I'm using the AMD Ryzen 7 and the desktop environment is Gnome 43.9. Alright, let's close this one. Let's go back to the apps. So we have also the utilities. We have the tweaks right here. If you want to change, over amplify, make it louder, because if you are using the laptop, of course it will be less than 100% of the full capacity. The shell, of course, it is based in Blade OS. The sound, of course, I just make it like that one. Fonts, you can change your fonts right here. Keyboard, the super key left or right. You also have the start up apps. You could add your apps right here. Your top bar, if you want to view the seconds, there it has the seconds right now. Let's turn it off. Of course, the tiling right here, the title bar, and of course the windows. When you click the Windows action key, we call it the super key. We could also disable and make some alternative. Okay, let's close this one. So we already have our application. Oh yeah, wait, we also have the second page right here, which is the extension manager. You could change the extension right here if you want to have a awesome display of your apps right here. It is an extension, so you could like browse for any particular extension if you wanted to. For example, if we want to have the wobbly thing, look for that one. We have the wobbly thing. Let's install this one. Install. After it is installed, let's go right here, and then it is turned on. When we do it like this one, we hold the key, and then we have the wobbly thing already. We could also turn it off. See, no wobbly and wobbly. You can change the settings too if you wanted to. Okay, so that is the extension manager. Let's go back to the utilities. We don't have. Okay, we also have the G parted H-top for your system settings and monitoring. H-top. About the G parted, we could like click that one. Wait for it. It will be online. Yes, there it is. It is not yet installed because I didn't install this one. I gave it a 30 gigabyte of storage space. We don't call it a drive if it is a partition. If it is a partition 1, we call it partition 1. Partition 2, if we have SDA-B, then it is a storage data B. So, but of course, this is only the storage data A. In Windows, you use drive C, which is no-brainer for me. Why? Because we don't use the drive A and B anymore, but using the drive C as a default, that's no-brainer. Okay, you could also do some partition if you wanted to, and by clicking the right click, you could change the name, the label, and some information right here, but I just don't want to do that now. So let's close that one and then go back to the utilities and go to the fonts. There are the fonts there. So let's go to the Office. So the LibreOffice suite is all here. We have the database, the spreadsheet, presentation, drawing, math, formulas, and the writer. And of course, installing of the Blade OS right here. Secrets is actually the password manager. So when you click it, you have all these secret passwords right here to secure your password notes and data to keep it safe. Alright, so that is all of our application as default. cool. So let's go to the, how about this, the quick launch right here, the quick launch application. So we have help, the rhythm box is your audio player, the LibreOffice suite, shortcut key. Okay, the gallery is your email. Am I correct? Yes, it is an email client. You also have the software center or the software apps or the app store. The file is your Dolphin. I think this is Dolphin or what? Let me see. Okay, it is a file manager, GNU file manager. So let's close that one. And of course, we have the Firefox web browser. So let's try to check into the application software right here. As you can see, we have the apps ready to install, but I wouldn't do that because this is a live CD session. So let's just click the Explore. For example, I want to install, let me see, I want to install, let's look into this. So we have all the current right now because I didn't update it. So we have different type of web browser. We have Firefox installed, parental control for your monitoring of your usage if you have kids. And of course, you also have the Angelfish web browser, the Chromium web browser, which is the Googleized Chrome. This is actually for developers, but it is now available for everyone. You also have the NetSurf web browser, the Qt web browser, Falcon web browser, the GNU web browser, and the Conqueror web browser from KDE. So how do you install this one? Let us just install the, for example, let's just install the GNU, and you have options right here if there's some other, but I didn't install the updates yet, so we don't have, only the Blade OS 24.1 source package. So let's try to install this one. Click install. You could go back and search for another one. For example, I am looking for another application which is VLC. So the VLC, let's click that one. So let us try to wait for the installation process to finish because we are, I think the internet is slowing down. Yeah, let's try to just install this one. So let me see if we already installed the, okay, the web browser of GNU. It's already installed. How about VLC, which is just a while ago? Yes, VLC is also here. So let's minimize this one first and then go to the launchpad or the start menu or the whatever you want to call this one. Okay, we have the web of the GNU web browser. We could now start with browsing the web through the most private and not tracking you down, of course. Let's try to look for let's look for Microsoft. If you want to use the Microsoft Edge for Linux, I'm just gonna type that one. So click this one. Let's full screen this one. Yes, we have. There you have it. Or you could also download it into Linux App Center when you have the update. But of course, you could also just install it via a dev file. So that is how our Linux, you could always use your Microsoft. But of course, some of us don't like to be snooping around by someone else. Well, it's up to you. For me, if I'm using the computer for my education purposes, yes, I could like use that one and set some examples. Of course, let's close this one. So how about the VLC Media Player? The VLC Media Player is actually a Linux app. Of course, if you have some MP3, MP4, MP1, and MP2. So the verdict right here in our conclusion and remarks, this one is a little bit like vanilla, but it is easy to navigate if you wanted to, as long as you install the proper, like the settings of your update right here. For sure, if you update this one, it will be performing well. Of course, let's click that one just to let you see. Of course, it is not. Okay, so let me see. Yes, it let me want to restart and update. This is the live version, so I couldn't do that one. Okay, let's close that one. So, conclusion. It is easy to install, no problem with that one. Regarding the learning curve, yes, it is just normal. For this operating system Blade, it is very easy. It is just normal. It is not too advanced. So I think you would try to install this one if you wanted to, just to have this as virtualization first before you start using it. I'm gonna say goodbye for now and see you in the next operating system OS next time. I'm Blair, your science, computer, and math teacher. Bye for now and see you in the next episode of OS operating system. And remember that science means knowing. That is why science is cool. Ciao. Now I have to click restart. Restart.